Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
Rapid saliva tests are coming to Fargo and Grand Forks. It's the latest tools in the state's arsenal against what the governor, Doug Burgum, is calling a COVID storm. Every county in the state now has active cases. In the past 7 days, North Dakota has had 52 deaths and nearly 6,000 new cases. North Dakota currently leads the nation in testing. The governor says more than a third of people in the state have been tested at least once.
We've got some new testing tools coming on the way. For the first time, we're testing kits, rapid tests that only take saliva as a form of a test. And those are going to Fargo, Grand Forks, Minot, Bismarck, Dickinson, and Williston Public Health to be used as part of their testing capability.
The governor posed the challenge to local leaders to take action to lower their numbers by Thanksgiving. Meanwhile, in Grand Forks, Mayor Brandon Boschenski has issued an emergency order requiring masks within city buildings starting Monday. Costco is selling coronavirus test kits. There are 2 kits which range in cost between $129 and $139. The kits can be used at home and you can avoid the nasal swab. You have to send your test to a lab. You'll get your results within 3 days. Tonight on Valley News Live at 10, we're going to tell you how you can get a hold of these tests and how accurate they really are. If you haven't already, it's time to change into a warmer coat. Now that the snow has stopped, the temps have fallen and continue to do so in the short term. Hutch is here with details on our Friday evening weather planner. Mr. Johnson?
Mike, thanks so much. That is the case. And areas with fresh snow and a lot of it have a decent chance at seeing some single-digit readings tonight if the clouds stay out of here. Look at this. Ashley over 7 inches there. Ellendale about the same. In the Fargo area, officially 2.7 inches at the airport. And looks like Dalton was one of the big winners with 10.5 inches of snow. Vargas not far behind at about 9 inches of flaky material. Here's a look at what that looked like from space. You can see on the visible satellite imagery here, the white that's not moving is snow pile on the ground. So the Missouri River Valley and south and north central South Dakota, over a foot of snow reported in places, and we got nearly that in Lakes Country as well. Here is a look at what we are seeing this morning. Temperatures snuck down into the single digits already in Langdon. And overnight tonight, with these clear skies that you're seeing here, it's going to be chilly. Already in the teens, Mike, by 10 o'clock. And overnight, I'm afraid Fargo slips into those single digits. So be ready for a cold start. Be ready for flakes in the forecast. Details in just a few moments.
All right, thanks so much. New tonight at 10, some Cass County bars and restaurants are having a hard time following state guidelines. They call for businesses to dramatically limit the number of people inside at any given time and for people to wear masks unless they're eating or drinking. Cass Public Health is stepping in, going inside businesses and telling them how they can stay in compliance. Valley News Team's Callie Hubbard has our story.
The last thing we want to do is have another shutdown.
Chris Oman is an environmental health practitioner with Fargo Cass Public Health. At one point, he and 8 others were checking on businesses. He says they're finding that most concerns are with area bars.
We'll get concerns presented to us, whether it be a restaurant, a bar, or a different retail setting. Whether we license them or not, we're there to provide the education.
Oman says if the business isn't following the ND Smart Restart guidelines, they try to educate them on why it's important to limit capacity, social distance, and cover up to stop the virus from spreading.
We generally find that if a concern is presented to us, we don't hear about it after we provide that education or we go on site to do walkthroughs and things of that nature.
We went into Sandy's Donuts downtown.
Obviously. Yes. Keep in mind there are businesses that are doing what's expected.
They really make you feel safe. All of their staff wears their masks. They reinforce like how many people are in there at a time.
Corey Anderson and Anthony Shepard are visiting from St. Paul, Minnesota. They've had to cover up for a while now, adding they're impressed with Cass County.
Yeah, we were just over here on the corner and they followed everything pretty true to for the mask mandate. Tables separated out, everybody had masks on.
Big thing is if they're not following the ND Smart Restart guidelines of the new capacities and the mask mandates, we provide them the education of why it's important to do that in order to keep them open for as long as possible.
In Fargo, Callie Hubbard, Valley News Live.
Cass County Public Health wasn't able to give us specific names of bars and restaurants having a hard time following state guidelines in Cass County. Charges are being considered against a man who allegedly coughed in a local business worker's face and claimed that he had COVID-19. It happened yesterday afternoon at the Youngblood Coffee in downtown Fargo. The business says the customer came in without a mask, which is against store policy, refused to leave, and then said multiple times he was positive for the virus. Fargo police say incidents like this can result in charges of either criminal trespass or disorderly conduct and could lead to a fine of up to $500.
The officer gathers all the information, they put it into a report and send it over to the charging agency, whether that's the city attorney or the state's attorney's office, and it's up to them to go forward with those charges in court.
The man who the business says is responsible released a statement saying, "I can tell you that I never coughed on them. I never told them I had COVID in the store." Outright lies. They were clearly obsessed with masking, and I walked into a situation where these people were rude, abusive, and vulgar, and I didn't appreciate it. The American Civil Liberties Union of Minnesota is suing the state, alleging prison officials have not taken adequate precautions to protect inmates from COVID-19. They filed a petition asking the court to force the state to keep people in custody safe. The Department of Corrections didn't comment on the matter. More than 900 inmates in prison systems have tested positive for the virus, with more than 200 cases still active. Be sure to keep your eye on the mailbox. Authorities in Itasca County say that outgoing checks are being stolen from mailboxes. They say you should avoid putting the flag up on your mailboxes when you have outgoing mail because the mail carrier will see it anyway. Even safer yet, you should drop your mail off at the post office or the USPS box. If mail has been stolen from you, you're told to contact police and the post office. A Minnesota congressional race is gaining national attention. Later on Valley News Live at 6, we're going to see how voters feel about the candidates.
20 degrees below average for a high temperature in Fargo today, and Grand Forks a little warmer thanks to a little less snow and more sun. Speaking of sun, a beautiful sunset. How low will the thermometer go? Your forecast is coming up right after this.